Thank you for coming today. Today is our EPHS National Merit Advanced Scholar Recognition Breakfast. My name is Steve Rollin, and I am the Gifted and Talented Coordinator at Eden Prairie High School. At the end of today's ceremony, I ask that the scholars come up for a group picture. We have the risers set up for that. Today, we are going to define success, celebrate success, and encourage continued success. Success begins with a dream. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. All successful people are big dreamers. They imagine what their future could be, ideal in every respect, then they work every day toward their distant vision, goal, or purpose. Success comes from caring for others. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Today we recognize 46 Eden Prairie students who have shown their success in a big way. Of the 1.5 million students who took the preliminary scholastic aptitude test last school year, only 16,000, that's 0.5%, were selected as semifinalists, and only 50,000, that's 5%, were selected as commended students. Of the 235,000 Hispanic students who took the PSAT, only 5,000, that's 2%, were selected as National Hispanic Recognition Program scholars. Our National AP scholars have earned top scores on 8 or more AP exams. The 15 students we recognize today as National AP scholars have made very good use of their learning, and we are here today to recognize their achievement and encourage them to continue their learning. We also gather here today to recognize educators selected by each of these students as influential in their academic career. These are educators who give you something to take home to think about besides homework. Our welcome today comes from Mr. Rob Virgin, our principal at Eden Prairie High School. Before joining Eden Prairie High School, Mr. Virgin served as an assistant principal, social studies teacher, and basketball and soccer coach. Mr. Virgin is also currently a University of Minnesota graduate level instructor. He completed his master's degree and administrative licensure there, where he is also writing a dissertation for his PhD in curriculum and instruction. In 2017, he was awarded the Minnesota Local Government Innovation Award. He has also been awarded the Minnesota Fellowship by the James Madison Memorial Fellowship Foundation, allowing him to study at Georgetown University. In the past year, Rob has published articles and book chapters in national journals on innovative school leadership, student voice, creating instructional change within the professional learning community, and targeted academic intervention. Please help me welcome Mr. Rob Virgin to the front.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Steve, and thank you all for all of your work in helping this special tradition continue. Good morning, I'm Principal Rob Virgin, and it is a real honor to welcome you to this morning's celebration. Honored scholars, I hope that this morning allows you the chance to hit the pause button in your active lives and celebrate all that you've already accomplished. It really is amazing, and I often wonder how you do all that you do. You truly represent the achievement that Eden Prairie School District strives for. Academic challenge and excellence, and major commitments to school and community activities. Quite honestly, I'm in awe of all that you have already accomplished. Without question, your success has been a collaborative pursuit. The students we honor today have been well served throughout their experience at Eden Prairie Schools. To that end, I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the dedicated and talented professionals that have contributed to our students being here today. We have a few school board members with us today, and I'd like to welcome them and acknowledge their work to provide for the educational needs of Eden Prairie students. Please stand so that we can acknowledge you. Ask our district administrators to please stand so that you can be acknowledged for the strong commitments you make to our academic program. Could all of our EPHS and other school-based faculty and staff please stand? This is an incredible group. EPHS is the capstone experience in our system, and this group creates and implements conditions that lead to student success. I can tell you how proud I am to be part of this team that delivers a child-centered education as we work to inspire each student every day. Students, do not let this morning pass without intentionally and explicitly expressing your gratitude to the people who helped you get here. Those in the room and those not. I'm guessing this list is pretty long, and you need to go out of your way to spread your gratitude. I can assure you that you will never regret making those kinds of extra efforts. Never have I found myself regretting calling somebody up with a simple message of thanks or sending a thank you note. Make sure that you don't let today pass without doing that. The students we celebrate today set an academic pace that is impressive, and they are much more than that. Students, in addition to pursuing academic challenge, you're involved in school activities, you give back to the community, you work in the community, and you are making post-secondary plans, even after that November 1 deadline. It is evident that you embrace the "and" in your lives. I'm inspired by that. Continue to embrace that. You will be better leaders and people for it, and you'll lead a more happy and fulfilling life. To further describe our celebrated group, here are just a few stats. The scholars maintain a mean GPA of 3.92 on a 4.0 scale. They participate in 24 athletic activities, 32 music and arts activities, 60 are in speech, debate, and student council, 14 are involved in STEM-focused activities, and they volunteer in 33 different community-based organizations. Scholars, you report that you're interested in pursuing careers in STEM, law, business, politics, education, and much more. I want to take just a moment to offer you some advice as you make those decisions. My vision for our school is that every student is able to answer yes to these three questions. Do I belong here? Is this meaningful? And can I do this? As you make decisions about what you will do after I shake your hand on June 5, 2020, I encourage you to focus on that second question. Is this meaningful? You have a ton going for you. Gifts, talents, drive, the quality of an education that most of our world could only dream of, and you already have a bunch of success in your back pocket. You're going to have a lot of good options to choose from. As you consider those, take the time and the care to determine what matters to you. Not to your classmates, not to social media, not to your siblings, not to your parents, but to you. Have the intentionality and quite honestly have the courage to reflect deeply on what your passions are. And as you do so, stay curious, ask questions, try some different things on to see what fits your style, talk to people you respect, get advice, take risks. People, like organizations, tend to avoid risks when they've had some success in the past. Unfortunately, that limits what they will be able to accomplish in the future. Because if all you do is what you've done, all you'll get is what you got. Don't set these kinds of limits for yourself by being afraid to step out of your comfort zone. We need to step out of our comfort zones. I believe your aspiration should be nothing short of transforming the world for the better. You can do it. You have all the tools you need. Just stay curious, find your passions, and relentlessly pursue those, and you will do it. So again, welcome to this special event, and thank you for the role that each of you plays in making Eden Prairie High School the standard for excellence and hope in education. Students, each of you truly makes our school community a better place to belong. I strongly believe this is your school. It is a real honor to work with you each day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Virgin, for your encouraging words this morning. Last week was Minnesota Gifted and Talented Youth Week. Governor Walz proclaimed, Education should foster the development of young minds, leadership skills, creativity, academic activities, and artistic talents. Development of each individual's intellectual and creative powers will help us meet the challenges of the future. Gifted and talented educators in Eden Prairie schools have been expanding gifted programming over many years, including the Key program, Mosaic program, honors, AP, and college level courses, Young Scholars, and AVID programs. Eden Prairie is just loaded with honors and gifted programming, and the scholars here have taken full advantage of it. A second-year nursing student told about an experience in nursing school. She said, "Our professor gave us a quiz. I breezed through the questions until I read the last one. What is the first name of the custodian who cleans the school?" Surely this was a joke. I had seen the custodian several times, but how would I know her name? I handed in my paper, leaving the last question blank. Before the class ended, one student asked if the last question would count toward our grade. "Absolutely," the professor said. "In your careers, you will meet many people. All are significant. They deserve your attention and care, even if all you do is smile and say hello. I've never forgotten that lesson. I also learned her name was Dorothy." The staff in a high school includes teachers and administrators, but high school staff also includes guidance counselors, security staff, student center staff, media center, work experience, and tutoring staff, student activities, health services and front office staff, paraprofessional staff, food services, and custodial staff. These staff all provide for a strong environment for learning at Eden Prairie High School. I want you to give a round of applause for all Eden Prairie staff so we can recognize your role in paving students' way to success. And remember, there are two types of education. One should teach us how to make a living, and the other, how to live. Let's not forget that the most vital link in education is not just between students and educators. Parents lead the way in guiding their children into successful adulthood. I ask that all the parents here today rise and be recognized as influential educators as well. Now let's introduce someone who knows how to run a successful school district. Our superintendent is here to congratulate you on behalf of all the folks we just mentioned. Dr. Josh Swanson currently serves as the superintendent of Eden Prairie Schools. He has held a variety of roles within several school districts throughout his career in education. Dr. Swanson has previously served as a paraprofessional, teacher, coach, athletic director, assistant principal, consultant, student support services administrator, director of technology and information services, executive director of technology, and assistant superintendent. Dr. Swanson is passionate about the mission of Eden Prairie Schools and working with all stakeholders to inspire each student and to strengthen our community. He is frequently out in schools and the city working with staff, parents, and community leaders. Also community members. Dr. Swanson is active in state-level leadership, working with individuals, groups, and audiences. He holds a bachelor's degree from the University of St. Thomas and a master's degree and doctorate in educational leadership from St. Mary's University. Help me welcome Dr. Josh Swanson to the podium.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad everyone's here and we have a chance to celebrate together. Our mission is to inspire each student to learn continuously so they are empowered to reach personal fulfillment and contribute purposefully to our ever-changing world. I get to speak with our staff and community and student groups a lot about what that means and what that means when we talk about each and what that means when we talk about to be inspired. That's a lot more than just teaching. And I will tell you that our students that are here this morning are being honored for not only what they know, but who they are as people. We're celebrating their talents, their interests and gifts, the ownership of authentic and hard work and passions in achieving goals. And it's so fun to see our mission come to life in the examples inside of our students. I always look forward to this morning, and not just for the wonderful breakfast, and not just for the wonderful speakers that we're going to get to hear, but for really what this is about in terms of celebrating our students. And so today we are brought together here to celebrate students who are being acknowledged as tremendous scholars, but we celebrate a lot more than that. We celebrate a tradition of excellence here in Eden Prairie schools. And that's dependent on a lot of people doing really hard work and staying committed. We have teachers who have an incredible commitment to our students and to learning, to making sure that they're truly prepared when they leave Eden Prairie High School to do whatever you want to do next. We have family who commit a great deal to make sure that students have what they need and that they're in a great place. We have community members that contribute a lot in many ways. We have our principals and our leadership, and we have support staff. Even our support staff to make this morning possible and making sure that we're fed and we get a chance to connect. Today, we're honoring the hard work, ambition, and talent of some incredible students who will continue to extend this legacy of excellence. I get to spend a lot of time in schools and traversing our educational system. What we celebrate is not just about today. Our students have come up through the system. They've had elementary teachers who are committed. They've had middle school teachers who are committed. Many of those staff join us today because they've had a great influence and inspire our students that are here today as well. Excellence is built on a lot of people working and their commitment together. We have staff and teachers that model care, interest, high expectations, and personal attention for our students. We have community that understands the importance of education, is engaged and supportive with their time, talents, and financially as well. We have a lot of active participation inside of our community through clubs and volunteers and community support groups. We have a school board that is incredibly supportive, has a great vision, and helps push us to achieve our mission and serve each student and our community well. And we have family, and family might take on a lot of different meanings, but students, those are the people who surround you and care about you and support you. There's sometimes those people who are late night or early morning taxi drivers. There are people who provide supports. There are people who talk to you about values and who you are. They care for you and they nudge you. And we've heard a couple of times the importance of being able to acknowledge that. And so I want to just provide a moment right now, students, for you to turn to whoever that family is, to whoever those supports are, to whoever those caring adults are. And I want to give you just a moment to go ahead and acknowledge and thank them in whatever way that looks like for you. It might even be a hug. So go ahead and take a minute right now out of our busy days to do that. Thank you for humoring me, and that goes a long ways, I will tell you, as you go on throughout life. Students, you modeled excellence. You modeled pride and work ethic. You've put your passion and interests out there and exploring those. You've demonstrated amazing academic achievement and incredible success, and I'm amazed. Our community has a lot to be proud of, and students, you are direct evidence of that. You joined the ranks of some incredible people that have come before you and will inspire others to follow you. We can't wait to see the success that you will have and what you will accomplish in the future as you continue the tradition of excellence here in Eden Prairie Schools. Congratulations to you and your families, and I'm so glad you're all here to celebrate this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Swanson. Find that place here. Okay, so we've heard from our superintendent. Let's talk about our influential educators. Each year, the scholars select an influential educator to join them at this event. The influential educators that receive the most votes from the scholars are asked to give a speech at this event. They become a Hall of Fame influential educator and are invited back to this event each year. Let us recognize our current Hall of Fame influential educators in attendance today. I ask that all of our Hall of Fame educators stand, please. We recognize. Two influential educators will be added this year to our Hall of Fame influential educators. These educators were selected by many scholars this year as their influential educator, and they are amazing teachers. These educators follow the adage of success that education is simply the soul of society as it passes from one generation to another. Our first influential educator speaking this year is Laurel Nebeker. Mrs. Nebeker teaches at Eden Prairie High School. She teaches English 9, AP English Language and Composition, and Drama. She has been teaching for 11 years, and 7 of them in Eden Prairie. For fun, she says it's a difficult question. Her family says she's fun impaired. I don't believe that for a minute. She reads and watches British television. And on a personal note, Mrs. Nebeker worked in the AVID program a few years ago. I was the emergency tutor for her AVID class. Remember that? I would come in like a deer in the headlights, not knowing what to do with the students. And she taught me the fine art of AVID tutoring during the year, including how to help students analyze a book that I had never read. So let's hear Mrs. Nebeker's wisdom for our scholars. Please help me welcome Ms. Laurel Nebeker to the podium.
Good morning. Actually, I was assuming that Steve was just asking me up here to tell everybody to come to the musical. We open tonight. Run this weekend and next weekend. Guys and dolls, you're going to love it. I am happy to be here with you this morning. Great occasion. So congratulations, scholars. You're receiving well-deserved honors for your academic achievements today. But we all know that there are times, some groups, some classmates, where earning all A's is like a scarlet letter. We're applauding you for your ambition, but we also know that you have probably had someone tell you to chill and stop winning everything already. Some people might call you ambitious and say that like it's a bad thing. I'm going to tell you a quick story about where ambition took me when I was in high school. I remember a day in 9th grade when the principal came over to the PA system and read off the names of 12 seniors. I could tell this was something big because the whole school hushed to hear these names. The names of the Sterling Scholars, each one representing a different academic area. They would build portfolios, compile resumes and rec letters, and represent our school in a statewide competition. One of the categories was speech, which I thought I was already rocking as a rising debate nerd, and drama. If I wanted to win this award in my senior year, I would have to do both speech and drama. So I signed up for beginning acting the next fall, and along came the musical. I couldn't sing or dance, but I kept showing up and I became a stage manager. Everything was going great until opening night when I single-handedly ruined the show by moving some scenery at the wrong time and misplacing some crucial props. When it was over, I hid in the seat shop and cried. My director came looking for me, and I was afraid to face him, but he gave me a hug and he said, "It's only a play." Another thing I remember from that first time stage managing was that classes went on the next day, no matter how late rehearsal ran. So you know what that was like currently. I fell asleep in AP US history. My classmates later told me that Miss McKay wouldn't let them wake me up. "She's so tired from working on that play. Let her sleep," she said. It could be argued that I have a college degree in theater because of wanting to win that award. That got me in the door of the drama room and I never left. But while this is a story about where ambition got me, this is really a story about what we learned in the tangents of our ambitions. This is a story about the kindness of two teachers that I remember decades later. This could also be a story about ambition setting me up for a fall, or at least for some scenery that was about to fall after the two pieces collided on stage. Because it was only a play, I came back for the second show and I got better at my job. I had failed the first time at a number of things that I turned out to be good at. For example, the first poems that I wrote in high school were not only rhymey and sentimental, they were, the horror, vague. I kept at it until I wrote myself out of rhyme and into a more genuine and specific voice. I have learned to remind myself that I can come back and do better on the second show. This has become a metaphor in my life. Now, you may notice that this isn't really a story about that award. It's about the ambition that moved my feet. You know, as how Robert Frost said it, how way leads on to way. Your ambition may look to you like a straight shot that leads toward something like that PSAT score or that college acceptance letter that you will soon be receiving. But you probably know that nothing is a straight shot. I hope you have had and will continue to have those not what you thought it was going to be experiences. From those experiences, you may find some of your own life metaphors. Now, way will lead on to way in this speech, and I'll ask you to think about metaphors. Many of you were ambitious enough to take AP Language and Composition, where we practiced making metaphors, the pithy capture of an idea or a feeling, the fraught image. Early in the term, Lily described her first experience writing an AP essay by saying, "It was like dragging my nails down a chalkboard." Irene said that the first essay was like tripping down the stairs, getting back up, then face planting onto the ground, repeat. Mid-semester, I asked the students to compose a comparison describing what it's like inside their heads. Smurfy wrote, "The inside of my mind is an unruly press conference in which each reporter is yelling and screaming in vain to get my attention." Jaden, in his end of the semester advice to future students, summed up by saying, "AP Lang is like riding a bike uphill. It's much harder to get your momentum once you stop pedaling." Look how well you all learned to specify. Great metaphors. I will leave you with a metaphor about your ambition. And I won't ever say ambition like it's a bad thing. Ambition is the once upon a time, the opening line of the story. The story will probably have dragons, or fallen scenery, or a second choice college plan. Some complication to keep it interesting. The story may, especially if it's written like one of the 9th grade papers I've been reading lately, have unintentional changes in narrative point of view or shifts in verb tense. In the end, there won't be an end. My hope for you, amazing, talented student people that you are, is that the stories, that your stories that start with ambition may meander on delightfully and continue to be about many things other than ambition. Thank you.
On behalf of Eden Prairie High School, Mrs. Nebeker, this certificate is for you, and it reads, Eden Prairie High School congratulates Laurel Nebeker, Hall of Fame influential educator, as selected by one or more scholars for the EPHS National Scholar Breakfast, November 8th, 2019. Thank you. Our second influential educator speaking this year is Todd Organ. Todd Organ is an English teacher here at Eden Prairie High School. He teaches Honors English 10 and English 11. He's been teaching for 25 years, all in Eden Prairie. For fun, he enjoys spending time with his family, cooking, traveling, and he is also a scoutmaster for our local scouting Boy Scouts of America group. On a personal note, Mr. Organ worked as a teacher on special assignment for several years in the front office with me, and we were in the office together. His smile could light up the room. Mr. Morgan's calm demeanor and listening skills always impressed me. After I would rant about something, he would say, "You're making a good argument. Have you thought about it from different viewpoints?" So today, Todd, I want to hear your viewpoints about the scholars in your speech. Help me welcome Mr. Todd Morgan to the podium.
Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak after Lori, the acting speech. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Alphabetical, okay. And also thank you to your support staff. I know it takes more than one person to put an event on like this, and I appreciate all of their efforts as well. Thanks everyone for coming, supporting this amazing group of students. Thank you, parents. I don't think any of the students would be here without you. Thank you for supporting us as well. Scholars, please remember, right? You've been reminded several times, and we've actually hugged. I like that. You can never say thank you to your parents enough, so please do that. I'm lucky, I really am, to teach students sitting in this room. But there's a lot of great teachers in this building and in this district that don't get that opportunity. And I just want to take a moment to thank those people. We don't have events that many teachers are not able to be recognized at. And I think there are many teachers in this district that have inspired me to be a better teacher that may not get an opportunity to be at something like this. And I just want to reach out to them and say thanks to them, because we're a giant team here. And we can't do it, singularly. We work together, and as a collaborative team, I think we're putting out a good product for you, and that's what matters. I have 3 messages for the scholars today, and I'm not going to use any language arts terminology because Laura took them all. All right, we're all good. I was at this event several years ago, and the keynote speaker was R.T. Rodman, the former mayor of Minneapolis. And he made a comment that has really resonated with me for many years. And his challenge to the scholars was to be disruptive, right? And if you think about that, I don't think there's a single scholar in this room that has ever been labeled as a disruptive student, right? But my challenge to you is to be disruptive in a positive way, all right? You have many, many talents, right? I have seen your skills in action. I've had many of you in the classroom, right? You have great thoughts, right? You need to challenge the status quo, right? You need to use your talents and your intelligence, right, to make the world we live in a better place, right? It's up to you, right? And you can do that, all right? Be confident in what you believe in, right? When articulately and respectfully presented with valid reasoning, any person's thoughts are worth listening to. Please remember that. My second challenge to you is to get involved in the community. Volunteer anywhere. I know that sometimes my students share way too much with me. And in a lot of cases it's, oh geez, I need to volunteer somewhere, so I'm going to go work at Prop for an hour so I can put that on my application. That looks really good, right? But an hour, I challenge you to volunteer at Prop for 30 hours, all right? Don't go a mile deep with your volunteering, not an inch wide, okay? Really commit yourself to some community organization. On a personal note, I got involved with Boy Scouts of America a few years ago. My son was all in, all right? I'm now a Scoutmaster, all right? It's been an amazing experience for me, a huge learning experience. I get to take kids that have never camped before outdoors and go camping, all right? I challenge all of you, all right? Get outside, all right? Do something like that. Serve on committees, run for public office, make Mr. Hollenbeck so proud, right? Okay? Tap into your inner SWAT if you have to. Okay? Be a school board member, it's great work, all right? Do something to help out your community. Really, lead by example. all right? You've done it here for 4 years. Continue that work, right? You can make a difference, right? You'll leave this world a better place than you found it. My final challenge is probably your toughest, right? If you've had me in class, you know that I talk about this all the time, in particular when it was registration time, when I said you need to seek balance. My honor sophomores are coming from an experience where in 10th grade, their opportunity for an AP class was APHS, right? And I heard a lot about APHS. Okay, good and bad. I got you both, all right? When registration rolls around for junior year, it's the all-you-can-eat buffet. And my sophomores are, I'm going to take this AP class, I'm going to take that AP class, I'm going to take this AP class. And you're remembering what we talked about in my class. It was, you can't have it all, right? You need to seek that balance, right? You need to do that. Okay, find something to be your stress escape, even if it's chocolate. That's okay, all right? Schedule time, if you have to, for relaxation and fun. And make a commitment to never cancel that appointment. Right? Take care of yourself. Travel the earth. Right? Learn about other cultures other than your own, and celebrate the differences. I think that's something that we've really concentrated on here at Eden Prairie, and I think we will continue to do. Try something new. Right? Seek adversity. Right? It will only make you a better person. Be open to new challenges. Reach outside that comfort zone that you are familiar with, right? You will find satisfaction in new experiences. Some of you may even try to run a marathon someday. And that's a long way from the pacer or the Monday line. Right? Think about that. Spend quality time with people you care about. You can never give the people that make a difference in your life enough of your time. And finally, probably the biggest challenge of all, do all of this without your cell phone. Look people in the eye. All right? Be genuine. Have conversations with words that come from your mouth, not from your thumbs. That makes a huge difference. While I may not know all of the scholars in this room personally, I'm proud of all of you. Right? You have represented our school so well. I know you're going to go on and do great things. Okay? You're an outstanding group of people. I wish all of you nothing but the best. Thank you and best of luck. Don't make us proud.
Thank you, Todd. We want to give you this certificate. Eden Prairie High School congratulates Todd Morgan, Hall of Fame influential educator, as selected by one or more scholars for the EPHS National Scholar Breakfast, November 8th, 2019. Those are very encouraging words. Thank you, Mr. Laurean. We are very proud of you as successful high school scholars, but your education in Eden Prairie schools will be done soon. The world outside awaits you, and I want you today to hear some words of wisdom from Manny Laureano. Manny is originally from New York City, where he first picked up the trumpet as a 7th grader in the New York school system. After receiving a scholarship to study with James Smith of the New York Philharmonic, he went on to attend the High School of Music and Art, or as some of you may know, the school that is portrayed in the movie and TV show Fame. He attended the Juilliard School of Music after graduating and studied with William Vacciano, the famed principal trumpeter of the New York Philharmonic. Almost immediately after graduating from Juilliard, Manny became a member of the Seattle Symphony Orchestra and spent the next 4 years there as principal trumpet. In 1981, he joined our musical community as principal trumpet of the Minnesota Orchestra, a post he has held until today. Manny is also described as a semiconductor and has led several music organizations which currently includes the Bloomington Symphony Orchestra, of which he is the artistic director, and the Minnesota Youth Symphonies, of which he and his wife Claudette are co-music directors since 1988. On a personal note, I play violin, and Manny guest conducted my orchestra several years ago. His playfulness and encouragement of music with the audience made us all generate extra excitement towards music. I hope he can generate that magic in his keynote speech today. Help me give a warm Eden Prairie welcome to Mr. Manny Laureano.
I have to say, I am really humbled. The things that I have heard come out of the mouths of these folks here at the table, I want you students to all understand that this 64-year-old wishes that he was going to school here right now. I'm serious. If this is representative of the kinds of teachers that you have here, the kinds of people that are here backing you up, teaching you what they know with enthusiasm, then one day, maybe not today, but one day you will realize how incredibly lucky you are. I'm just knocked out from the nice breakfast that was prepared for us to the remarks from the superintendent. Really, you are in a very, very special place, and I am I'll just a wee bit envious for you. Now, I had a set of remarks that I was going to say to you, and on Wednesday, I found out that my mother passed away. So it kind of put a halt on the things that I was thinking about. But this morning when I woke up, I said, well, what would my mother want me to talk to you about? Now, my mother and my father are from Puerto Rico. So they kind of, and she died at age 94. So they have seen a lot of life. And in the projects of New York City, they passed those things on to me. So I think the very first thing that my mother would tell all of you is, be good. Be good people. It's more important than being happy, is to do things that not only affect the way that you are, but by being good, affect the other people that are in your lives and the people that aren't in your lives. I loved that story about the final exam on the test. What is the name of the custodian? To me, that's a very heavy thing. It's the acknowledgement of the people that you pass in every day is something that is going to affect you. I don't care what you do and who you come into contact with. This is extremely important. I play in an orchestra of almost 100 people. And a lot of them I know well. Some of them I don't know so well. And sometimes I kind of kick myself a little bit when I realize, I don't know if he or she has brothers or sisters. I should sit down and talk to them a little bit. The other thing, of course, that my mother would tell you is to eat your vegetables. Because it makes you strong. And it's just good for you. Especially if you don't like vegetables. Eating vegetables is a sign of discipline. My wife, I drive her nuts because one of the things I do, since I'm not a big vegetable fan, but I know that I have to eat them, is that I'll kind of separate my dinner plate into little quadrants, and I'll eat the vegetables first, just to get rid of the obligation. So I can get onto the rice and the beans and the meat and all that stuff. But, pull out my expensive notes. The other thing that is humbling to me is what you students have accomplished. Honestly, I was a terrible student. This thing about music making you brilliant and all that, the Mozart effect. Okay. I'll leave that to the scholars and scientists to debate. I'm not an example of one of those. I was saying to Todd that of all the academic subjects that I did, the stuff besides music, if I had anything that I was able to do, it would have been teach English, because I love the language. I love what we are able to do with communication. Now, communication and being able to play music, it's really about the same thing. So the things that make me love what the English language does and what music does, and also foreign language. I grew up speaking Spanish, and I took 4 years of French in school, and playing operas all my life. You get to learn smatterings of Italian and German as well. So this whole idea of being able to communicate is something that's very important to me. So I guess the other thing that my mother would say is, be clear so people know what you're talking about. Don't mutter. Be clear. In order to be clear, you have to be clear up here first. You've got to know what it is that you want to express. That's not so easy when you're in high school. It really isn't. It's because you're starting to find the way that you communicate, who you are as a communicator. You detected a trace of a New York accent that's been somewhat wiped away by living in the Middle West for almost 40 years now, but it's still there. The communication based on what you know and what you believe and what you are doing with yourself is huge. So be clear. The other thing that my mother would want you to know is to not be afraid to fail. Now, Ms. Nebeker talked about that a little bit, but I want to expand on it just for a minute. My mom saw me fail because, like I say, I was not a great student, but she also saw me succeed, and things in life balance out, right? You're not afraid to fail, but just don't make a habit of it. Find the things that you can do and bring some energy to it. But I want to tell you one story, maybe two if I have time, but I want to tell you about the time that I failed while I was at Juilliard. My teacher, Mr. Laureano, was the heralded first trumpet of the New York Philharmonic for 32 years. And any of those recordings that you would hear with Leonard Bernstein, or that he was on those recordings, just so you get an idea of who this guy was. But we who got in, the year that I got into Juilliard, there were 90 trumpets that auditioned. There were 3 of us that got in, and I was one of those 3. But we worshipped this guy. I mean, really, because we had heard the recordings, and it's just, Mr. Laureano, wow. So I spent my first year practicing the things that I did well. The things I didn't do so well, it's like you develop kind of a little shame about practicing things that you do. You don't want to hear yourself failing. So you avoid those things that make you fail. And you try and get by on the things that you're good at. Let me tell you, that is not a good proposition. So it was April of that year. We got through most of the year, where the school ended in May. And there were certain aspects of playing trumpet that were very important to Mr. Laureano, to make us into orchestral players. And I came in one day, and I played through something. And he said to me, Laureano, you know better than you were when you first walked into my studio. Why didn't you just take a knife and stab me in the heart? Because that would have been easier to take than to hear my idol tell me that I had failed him. So, after the lesson, I went downstairs to the cafeteria. And it was kind of like this, with the windows there, and so there was a table right nearby the windows. And I was just sitting there, looking across, and just thinking about what had happened. So a buddy of mine, also in the trumpet studio, a guy named Scott Warden, came over and he said, "Good Lord, what's the matter with you? You look terrible. Did you lose your wallet or something?" And I went, I explained what happened in the lesson. And he said, "Yep, we've all had that lesson. We've all gotten our butts kicked by Mr. Laureano. And the way I see it," Scott said, "you have two choices. You can sit here and cry into your coffee, or you can go get your butt into a practice room and do something about what just happened." And I looked at him and I said, "You're right. It seems so obvious, but when you're sitting there wallowing in self-pity, it doesn't seem so obvious. You need somebody else to kind of yank you by the collar and just say, go do it. Go change that right now." And I did. I came in the next week, and he said, "There you go. That's the way you do it." And the next few years, I was straight as an arrow. I made sure and practiced the things I wasn't good at, so that I would lower the amount of times that I would fail. I would still fail. Listen, I've been a professional now for 43 years, and I've had my failures, but I have just not made a habit of it. And don't be afraid. Go ahead and what's that expression? The people that are afraid to fail never make a discovery, something like that. And it's amazing the discoveries that I've made in times of doubt. But what you have to have is that place that you go to. When things aren't going right, make sure it's either a person or it's a way that you retreat for a little while so that you can think and analyze what it was that's going on to you. Have a great mentor. Goodness knows you've got great mentors in this school before you go to college. You take full advantage of what they know, because they are dying for you to come up and ask them questions. I'm not kidding. The biggest favor you can do to any teacher is to stay behind one day and say, I've been thinking about this, and this is what I come up with. What do you think? And you probably won't get home until 6 o'clock that night, because they'll want to engage you in conversation about those things. You aren't the only ones that are here to learn. The teachers are here aching to learn from you as well, because it makes them better people, makes them better teachers as you become better students. So look, what I want you to come away with from this brief little talk is that there's kind of a flow to becoming the people that you want to be. And by the way, with all the things that you're studying now, all the things that you're good at, in 5 years, you might not be interested in that. You might be completely immersed in something else that has grabbed you by the collar. So let life happen, but also make life happen. Devote energy to what it is that you want to do. When you have that energy, commit to it. Commit to what that energy is leading you to. You can't approach things that you want like Swiss cheese with a lot of holes in it. You got to make that into a nice, gooey, firm camembert, nice and thick. Your knowledge has to become thick. Be patient. You guys all want it at once. And that's okay, because that's what youthful enthusiasm and energy is supposed to give you out about. That's all right. Just know that at some point you're going to have to learn to be patient. And finally, turn all of that into passion. I will tell you that, let me say, so I'm 64 now, so I've been doing music for a long time. Until the math wasn't funny. No, seriously, you want to turn all of these things into passion. Passion is a very funny thing. I'm not talking about passion over the latest TV show. I'm talking about something that burns in here. Music has been burning in my heart ever since the first time I think I heard the radio. And I don't think I could have been anything else other than a musician. I think that was the plan. And as a result, I've had the opportunity to, I sat down and did the math. I think I've had about 5,000 students go through the Minnesota Youth Symphony's program since Claudette and I have been in it for the last 30 years, which is just insane. But I'm not going to tell you to go do what your heart tells you. Sometimes the heart lies to you. Make sure that your brain doesn't get short shrift. Make sure there's always a good balance of what your brain tells you to what your heart. Your heart can get you in a lot of trouble. And the brain goes, whoa, no. Sometimes the brain says, go for it. So, in closing, I want to be the next in the list of persons that says thank you on your behalf, students, to your parents. They are your rocks. They're that wall that supports you. Sometimes you want to go through that wall, and they're there to say, no, not today. Be patient, and we'll build a door. You can build a door in that wall. I also want you students to be grateful, because this is what my mother would have wanted you to do, is to always remember to be grateful to the teachers that you have here, that have this representation of teachers and administration have so impressed me today with the things that they have talked about. What wonderful hands you're in between your parents and these wonderful teachers, the support staff. And maybe by the end of the day, tomorrow, you'll learn the name of the custodian that you pass by every day. So there's one thing that's better than saying, I can do it, and that is, I did it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Laureano. We'd like to give you a certificate. It reads, Eden Prairie High School congratulates Manny Laureano for his keynote speech at the EPHS National Scholar Breakfast, November 8th, 2019. Very, very inspiring, Mr. Laureano. We thank you for taking time to be here today. While you are thinking about the outside world, we also need to reflect on the accomplishments of our scholars and influential educators in our audience today. I asked each scholar to list someone they considered to be an influential educator in their life. The scholars nominated a wide range of educators. These educators have helped students learn that if opportunity doesn't knock, then build a door. Let's bring them up and congratulate them now. Mr. Virgin, and I think it's going to be Dr. Stacy Stanley, our Assistant Superintendent, will be coming up to hand out certificates. Correct? Okay. Okay, educators, when you come up to the front when your name is called to receive your commendation and congratulations. When you have received your commendation, please be seated. Just one second. Okay, first up, Mark Anderson. Come on down. Mark teaches at Eden Prairie High School AP Microeconomics, Business and Marketing courses, Career and Technical Education. He's the coordinator for that. He's been teaching for 23 years. For fun, he wears jeans and turns around in elevators to face other people. Let's see, John Becker. John teaches at Eden Prairie High School Physical Education, grades 9 through 12. He's been teaching for 35 years. For fun, he hangs out with his family and friends doing adventurous activities. Karen Reddington. Karen teaches at Eden Prairie High School the Senior Intern Program, Marketing Strategies, and Careers courses. She's been teaching for well over 30 years. For fun, she loves spending time at the cabin and spending time with her two adorable grandbabies. Katie Foley. Katie teaches at Eden Prairie High School Honors Biology, AP Biology. She's been teaching for 15 years. For fun, she enjoys spending time with her family. She also spends a lot of time at their cabin, hiking, fishing, and doing things outside. She also enjoys reading, traveling, and a good workout. Anne Gaston. Anne teaches at Eden Prairie High School Spanish 6 College and Schools and Spanish 4. She's been teaching for 25 years. For fun, she travels with her family to Spain, supports her kids' activities in dance and band, and likes reading. Shelley Grunwald. Shelley teaches at Eden Prairie High School Algebra 1 and AP Calculus. She's been teaching for 29 years. For fun, she does math, loves to hang out with her family, kayak, travel with friends, and attend sporting events. Elizabeth Jackson. Dr. Jackson is a teacher at Eden Prairie High School, teaches grade 9 through 12 band, teaching over 30 years. For fun, she rides her horse, rides her bike, and kayaks in the Boundary Waters. Alyssa Jackson. Alyssa previously taught English 10 and 11 here at EPHS. She is now a business systems analyst, currently on contract at Landscape Structures, Inc. She taught at EPHS for 4 years and has been in her new job for a year. For fun, she hosts trivia at a local restaurant once a week and enjoys playing trivia when she is not behind the mic. Julie Cantock. Julie teaches at Eden Prairie High School. She's a choral music teacher. She's been teaching well over 30 years. Her soul is truly set free when she is out in nature or when she gets to make beautiful music in collaboration with young people's very human instrument. Her second favorite thing is being off the clock. J.D. Lent. J.D. teaches at Eagle Heights Spanish Immersion School, grades 2 through 6. She's a gifted and talented coordinator there. She's been teaching for over 20 years. For fun, she enjoys yoga and spending quality time with her new French Bulldog, Olive. Kevin Luker. Kevin teaches at Eden Prairie High School all of the social studies courses. He's been teaching for 23 years. For fun, he enjoys fly fishing, outdoor activities, baseball, coaching baseball, and track and field. Dan Murray. Dan teaches at EPHS and Central Middle School, German, and history. He's been teaching for over 30 years. For fun, he enjoys bicycling, travel, and karate. Jennifer Nelson. Jen teaches at Eden Prairie High School, grades 9 through 12, AP Computer Science Principles and Computer Science Java. She also teaches iOS computing. She's been teaching for 25 years, and for fun, she likes to fly fish, mountain bike, and travel. Greg Sarles. Greg teaches at Eden Prairie High School AP Statistics, Function, Statistics, and Trigonometry. He's been teaching for 30 years. For fun, he and his wife run a stand at the farmer's market in Minneapolis. He also likes to fish, hunt, and be outdoors with family and friends. Carol Snyder. Carol teaches at Eden Prairie High School Honors Chemistry and AP Chemistry. She's been teaching for 20 years. For fun, she likes to relax at her family farm in Wisconsin, reading historical fiction, and traveling anywhere with her husband. She also enjoys downhill skiing if it's not too cold, hiking the North Shore, golf, and tennis. Ann Viviano. Ann has been teaching violin all ages from 3 and up for over 20 years. She teaches violin and plays fiddle in an Irish band, are a couple of things she does for fun. She's also particularly fond of canoeing and camping. Her other occupation is accounting, which she says she also does for fun. And she has worked in numerous positions as an international controller to her current position as an audit and tax manager. And to all our scholars, I encourage you to greet the influential educator you nominated and tell him or her personally how much they mean to you. Let's give them a round of applause. Now we'll focus on the stars of today's event, our National Merit and Advanced Placement Scholars. Our scholars have learned that it takes courage to grow up and to become who you really are. Let's review the achievements of these scholars. Our National Merit semifinalists are the top 1/2% of all students nationwide taking the PSAT. Our commended students are the top 5% of all students nationwide taking the PSAT. Our National Hispanic Recognition Program scholars in the top 2% of Hispanic and Latino students taking the PSAT. Our National AP scholars have an average grade of 4 on all AP exams taken, and grades of 4 or higher on 8 or more of these exams. That's awesome scores. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation and Eden Prairie Schools have prepared certificates of congratulation for each scholar. Dr. Virgin and Dr. Stanley, Mr. Virgin and Dr. Stanley, soon to be Dr. Virgin. You're going to do well on that doctoral thesis. Okay, so they're coming up, they're up here to distribute the certificates. Please come up front when your name is called to receive your commendation and congratulations. When you have received your commendation, please be seated. Okay, first up, Lily Auberg. Lily is a commended student. She's on the speech, team, golf, NHS, and mock trial. Her community work includes the National Charity League and as a church camp counselor. She plans a career in industrial engineering or marketing. Lincoln Aurora. Lincoln is a National Merit semifinalist and National AP scholar. He is involved in Quiz Bowl, Young Democrats, and he plays piano. He has been a University of Minnesota medical summer intern, and he was in the Stanford Summer Institute in Political Science. He also has a part-time job at a local restaurant. He plans a career in law, public policy, or in a nonprofit group. Isaac Ash Johnson. Isaac is a commended student. He is involved in the talent robotics, where he's the captain, first robotics dean's list, finalist, Key Club, track and field, and National Honor Society. He mentors the CMS robotics team. He's had a summer job at a local restaurant and plans a career in computer science or engineering. Laura Balboa. Laura is a commended student and a National Hispanic Recognition Program scholar. She is involved in band, flute choir, speech, and Dare to Be Real. She has a part-time job at a local restaurant and plans a career in astrophysics. Ethan Bly. Ethan is a commended student. He is involved in football, National Honor Society, the Superintendent Advisory Council, and the Student-Led Innovation Group. He plans a career as a biologist or physician. Blake Brangvold. Blake is a National Merit semifinalist. He is involved in youth and government, robotics, quiz bowl, and kung fu. He has served as a summer church camp counselor and plans a career as a computer scientist or engineer. Blaine Burns. Blaine is a National Merit semifinalist. He is involved in marching band, concert band, and jazz band. He's the section leader in each of his bands as well. He plans a career as a chemical engineer, material scientist, or physicist. Tejas Chibru. No, Tejas? Jaden Chu. Jaden is a commended student. He's involved in quiz bowl. He is also involved in a youth group at his church. He plans a career as a secondary educator, college professor, and family counselor. Irene Cho. Irene is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. She's involved in speech, mock trial, and band. She has earned the Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award. She's a student tutor for English language learners at CMS. She works part-time at a local restaurant and plans a career as an applications programmer or a lawyer. Aubrey Collett. Aubrey is a commended student. She is involved in chamber orchestra, concert orchestra, ukulele club, and takes violin lessons. She is employed as a violinist and plans a career as a mathematician. Jack Eckholm. Jack is a commended student and a National AP Scholar. He is involved in Student Council, Quiz Bowl, National Honor Society, and DECA. He's an Eagle Scout. He's a church children's minister and a prop shop volunteer. He works as a supervisor at a gym and plans a career in finance or actuarial science. Jack Engelbrecht. Jack is a commended student. He's involved in baseball and hockey. He's a volunteer coach for Eden Prairie rookie hockey camps and co-founder of a landscaping company. He plans a career in finance or investment banking. Gloria Friedman. Gloria is a National AP Scholar. She's on the chess team. She plays piano. She's done performances at the Eden Prairie High School Variety Show, and she's a painter. She works as a social media analyst and a private chess instructor. She plans a career in neuroscience, biomedical engineering, or clinical psychology. Anna Frischman. Anna is a National Merit semifinalist. She is involved in theater, student council, and choir. She has served for 5 years as a Sunday school teacher and 2 years as a camp counselor. She works part-time as a nanny and as a tutor. She plans a career as an engineer, scientific researcher, or college professor. Sylvie Frognes. Sylvie is a National Merit semifinalist. She is involved in Science Olympiad, cross country, and Connect 9. She volunteers at summer camps and in preschool classrooms. She works part-time at a local movie theater and plans a career as an engineer or a lawyer. Kevin Gow. Kevin is a National Merit semifinalist. He is involved in DECA, tennis, swimming, and Interact Club. He volunteered for 5 years at a local adult daycare center and has had internships at the EP Rotary Club and EP Chamber of Commerce. He plans a career in finance, marketing, or marketing in the tennis industry. Miraldi Iyer. Troy Johnson. Troy is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. He is involved in soccer, skiing, quiz bowl, and track and field. He's a key club leader, Eagle Scout, and has earned the President's Volunteer Service Award Gold Level. He works a part-time job at a local retail store and plans a career as an investment banker or accountant. Smriti Karthikeyan. Smriti is a National AP Scholar. She is involved in the Autism Awareness Club, Science Olympiad, speech, badminton. She plays piano and violin. She has earned the Gold Presidential Service Award and is an EPIC volunteer. She also works as a mathnasium math instructor and plans a career in biomedical engineering and medicine. Nicole Coons. Nicole is a commended student, and she is involved in theater, choir, orchestra, and DECA. She's also involved in National Honor Society and a student intern in the Eden Prairie AM Rotary chapter. She is also the lead sensei at Code Ninjas. She plans a career in computer science or engineering. Avery Lemke. Avery is a National Merit Commended student. She is involved in Quiz Bowl, Connect 9, the Distraction-Free Driving Group, and the Key Club. She's involved in National Honor Society and volunteers at Feed My Starving Children. She has worked as an EP Soccer Association supervisor and soccer referee. She plans a career as a food scientist. Ashwin Murali. Ashwin is a National Merit Commended student. He is involved in Quiz Bowl, Futurist Academy, and Orchestra. He is an Eden Prairie High School summer camp teacher, and he's a STEM Builders coach and a Kumon learning tutor. He plans a career in computer science, especially game development or animation. Apiram Nalamali. Apiram is a National Merit Commended student and a National AP Scholar. He is involved in the marching band, Distraction-Free Driving Club, Winter Drumline, Quiz Bowl, National Honor Society, and DECA. He's an Eagle Scout. He volunteers at a local hospital and is a City Council student commissioner. He plans a career as a physicist. Helen Nguyen. Helen is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. She is involved in the Science Olympiad, band, DECA, and youth and government. She has earned the President's Gold Volunteer Service Award. She volunteers at a local health clinic and as a teaching assistant in a community education summer camp. She plans a career either as a chemical engineer, in a sustainable business, in international business operations, or entrepreneurship. Varun Saini. Varun is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. He's involved in band, key club, and quiz bowl. He's earned the Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award, Scouting, and is a member of an organization to help underprivileged children, also a peer tutor. He plans a career in medicine. Charles Shee. Charles is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. He is involved in orchestra, quiz bowl, and soccer. He is involved also in youth group activities in a leadership role at his church as well. He teaches young students robotics and chess, and he plans a career as a computer scientist. Aparna Shoni. Aparna is a commended student. She is involved in speech, Key Club, NHS Connect 9, and robotics. She volunteers at the Minnesota Malayali Association. She's a prop shop volunteer, volunteers at the India Association of Minnesota, and at Prairie Adult Care. She plans a career as a physician or an international business executive. Chloe Skog. Chloe is a National AP Scholar. She is involved in swim and dive and the EPHS UNICEF Club. She volunteers in National Honor Society and EPHS Trace Tutoring. She works a job in the Preserve Association as a lifeguard and manager, and plans a career as a Naval Academy pilot. Pranav Shriram. Pranav is a commended student. He's involved in quiz bowl, DECA, and he plays piano. He plans a career in finance and international business and economics. One of those three, or maybe more. Alessa St. George. Alessa is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. She is involved in Nordic skiing, orchestra, cross-country, and track. She has served for 5 years as a volunteer at her church. She's a Parks and Rec summer camp counselor and plans a career in medical research and technology or in computer programming. Sophie Stukenborg. Sophie is a National Merit commended student. She is involved in DECA, mock trials, student council, and National Honor Society. She has volunteered as a counselor at Spirit in the Pines Camp, and she plans a career in consulting, marketing, or public relations. Catherine Sun. Catherine is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. She is involved in Science Olympiad, math team, tennis, and DECA. She volunteers at a memory care center and also at Prop Shop. She plans a career in data science. Niall Timmerman. Niall is a commended student. He is involved in cross-country, track, Nordic ski team, I Matter, Young Democrats, and concert band. He volunteers as a student rep to the city council, and he works part-time as a lifeguard. He plans a career in environmental science. Isaac Wenk. Isaac is a National Merit commended student and a National AP Scholar. He's been involved in FIRST Robotics and the math team. He has worked in an engineering internship with Continental Engineering and Manufacturing and plans a career in mechanical engineering. Kevin Yin. Kevin is a National Merit semifinalist and a National AP Scholar. He's been involved in orchestra, quiz bowl, tennis, and the math team. He volunteers at a local hospital and is an NHS tutor. He also works as a tutor at Keynote Learning Center He plans a career in actuarial science, finance, or data analytics. Okay, I think that's everybody. So let's give them a big round of applause. And to our scholars, if I misspelled any item on the certificate or on the program, please let me know. I'll prepare a replacement for you. So we've gone through all these recognitions, and it's what amazing accomplishments by our scholars. We are so proud of you, and now let's look forward to success in your lives ahead. Okay, so remember, your families are extremely proud of you. You can't imagine the sense of relief they are experiencing. And this would be a most opportune time to ask for money. But looking to the future, they may be asking you for money. Keep in mind that neither success nor failure is ever final. Keep going. We have come to the end of our program today. Whether you are still in school or well beyond school, I hope each of you are able to succeed in finding enjoyable, challenging, and compassionate work in your life. Thank you for coming today. I ask that all the scholars recognized today come forward for a group picture. Thank you.